All right, let's have a look at Voodoo Child, Slight Return by Jimi Hendrix. Jimmy, on the studio version of this, was tuned down one full step, but I'm going to be teaching it to you in standard tuning. I'm not going to use the wah pedal for the intro. The point of this tutorial is basically to show you the notes, and you just basically hammer on the wah with each note. And so we're starting here at the 7th fret, and we're going to do a quick hammer on the G string from 7 to 9. And then release back to 7. And then you're going to do a quick hammer on from 7 to 9 on the, let me get the better tone going here. Basically Jimmy's tone, you want fuzz, and you probably want it up on the neck pickup. And when he gets into the solo-y bits, he switches down to the bridge pickup. So we're up on the neck pickup for now. And so quick hammer on, 7 to 9, back to 7 on the G. You can pull that off, actually. No, pick it. And then hammer on quickly 7 to 9 on the D, and then back to 7 of the G. And then you're going to move down here to 5 of the D string for 2 hits, and then pull off 7 to 5 of the D, and then up to 7 of the A. So then you're going to basically repeat that same little pattern, hammer on 7 to 9 of the G, back to 7, and then up to 9 of the D. And then hammer on to 9, release back to 7. And there's lots of little superfluous kind of like mutes going on between these little phrasings, so you'll have to listen for those. So up to that point. And now we're going to go into the second part. So there's basically, you can break this into 4 parts. And that's the second part. So it's basically the same except for the ending. Now, the first time you go up to the 9th fret of the D, the second time you don't. You just kind of do a little mute in between, and then you go back to 7, and then you go back to 9. And then release back to 7. You see what I'm saying? So up to that point. That time I went up to the 9 on the D, and the second time. And that time I just went back to 7 and then back to 9. And then you repeat it again exactly the way you played it the first time. And that's the 4th time, and that changes just slightly at the end. And then you're not gonna go up to the 9, you're gonna play it more like the way you played it the second time. And then you're going to go 7, 9, and then you're into, and that's full step bend at the 10th fret, release, and then release back to 8 on the B string. And then grab 9 and let it slide out of the G. So that whole first opening section. then you're going to, basically it's a down, up, down, E, kind of like an E major. But you're only really grabbing the top 3 strings, so it's basically E. And then you're going to grab the 2nd fret of the G string, and you're going to give it a bend, release, and then release to the open G note, and then grab the E note at the 2nd fret of the D string. And then 2 open hits of the open E. Sorry, messed that up. And then you're going to grab the 3rd fret of the low E, and then you're going to go open D, and then hammer on to the 2nd fret of the D. And you're going to do it again, and then after you do it the 2nd time, you're going to do 3 hits of the open E. So, coming out of this. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. You got that? One more time. 1, 2, 3. And then we're into this. And that's back at the 8th and 10th fret of the B string, full step bend, release, hit the natural note, and then bend, release, and then back to 8. And then you're going to grab around the 12th fret, the top 2 strings, and slide it down. And then you're going to go that little down, up, down again. And you're going to do that again. And then you're going to grab 1 note of the open E. And then you're going to immediately go back down and grab the 2nd fret of the G string and give it a full step bend. And this is where he's using either a toggle or some kind of studio effect, or you can pick it. And you know, you can pick it and release it as you're picking it, or you can toggle it. I like to pick it on a Strat. I can't get that toggle sound. I don't know what he's doing, but... And then you release back to the open G. And then you're basically going to go 1, 2, 3. And then we're into the first little solo. So let's take it up to that point slowly. So that is in the E pentatonic at the 12th fret. You're bending the 15th fret of the B string and grabbing the 12th fret of the high E. Doing that twice. And then you're rolling your finger up to the 12th fret of the B. And then hammering on, pulling off from 15 to 12. And then a bend, release at the on the G string at the 14th fret. Back to 12, and then up to 14 of the D string. And then you're going to go back to 12, back to 14 of the G, bend, and then grab with your pinky the 15th fret of the B. just basically you're going to be on the 14th fret there of the G string. Bend, release, bend, and then release back to 12 of the G. So I'm going to play that whole little lick. It's all in this little box here. I don't really have to need to walk you through it. It's all just in the pentatonic box. And then you're going to slide out again. At that point the singing comes in. I'll show you that last little bit there after coming out of this solo. And that's basically what you were doing earlier. 3rd fret of the E string, hammering on D to the 2nd fret. And then you can come up here to the 2 middle strings at the 12th fret. And pulling off the 3rd fret of the open E or the E string. And then grabbing the 2nd fret of the D string. Do that twice. And then you can grab the 2 strings down here at the 3rd fret on the B and the E string. He's kind of just messing around there at that point. But so coming out at the end of that solo, I'll just show you exactly what he's doing, and I'll play it slowly. That's the point where he comes in singing. So I'm going to stop there. That is the entire opening section of Voodoo Child's Slight Return. I forgot when he kicked into the main bit after the wah part, I forgot to kick down into the bridge pickup. Doesn't matter. You know, that's a tone thing. But at least you know the notes. And so that is the intro to Voodoo Child. Hope that helped you out.